what are internally, what is the work that somebody can go from like a $30 freaking out about selling $30 a month, right, to selling six figures, right? What are some of the key elements in there?
Okay, I'm so glad you asked this question because it's an epic question, and the answer is very simple, or at least I try to keep it very simple. There's 7 things you need to know, and there's 3 things you need to get. Okay. So if we go into a conversation knowing that there's 7 things we need to know and there's 3 things we need to get, what are they? Well, the 7 things you need to know are the different little buckets of the sales conversation. Okay, the first bucket is the bonding bucket, right? The bonding connection bucket. The fastest way to go through this is literally to listen to your prospect and listen to the speed that they speak at, the volume they speak at, the pace, if they're talking slowly, if they're up in your face and they're talking loud and it's really exciting, whatever it is, be aware and observant of this and copy or mimic it for the first 90 seconds. That's it. The reason you do this is because the neuroscience of sales will share that it will drop the guard, the barriers of trust and trustability and likability, simply because you're speaking in their filter. That's the easiest way to put it. Yeah. So for the first 90 seconds, whenever you speak to anybody new in a sales conversation and you're selling something that's worth more than 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, I used to teach people to sell 7-figure deals. Like that's what I did, big boardroom sales. Like I actually taught it for a while. And the secret is that, right? So just mimic the people that you're speaking with for the first 90 seconds. That's the first thing you need to know. Second thing you need to know, and this is almost a know and execution piece, is you always need to know or set the agenda for the call. We call it the rules of the game. So if you take the word game, picture this for a second. A baseball game. When the baseball game first starts, what happens? Before the game starts, you have the umpire at home plate, and the two coaches walk out and they're talking to the umpire. During this meeting, okay, they're deciding the rules of the game. Same thing in soccer. You have the referee and the 2 captains in the middle of the field, right? Same thing.
Absolutely.
And you discuss, if the ball goes through that fence, it's out of bounds. If this happens, this is the rule. Like those are the rules of the game that you go play. Now, same thing with a sales call, but just do it in a fashion that's very, very simple. I use the analogy GAME, G-A-M-E. Here's what it stands for. First, G, I'm grateful to have the opportunity to speak with you today. A stands for ask. Today during our meeting, I'm going to ask you a few questions. I need to dig into your world and figure out if you have the one problem that I solve. I'm sure M is me. I'm sure you're going to have some questions for me about maybe what I do and how things work. And E stands for end. At the end, this is going to happen. Either we're going to agree that we're a fit to work together, or we're going to figure out how to refer each other, or it's going to be an amazing conversation. Does that sound okay? And when you've set the rules of the game or the rules of engagement of the sales conversation, now we start with the 3 things you need to do. Okay?